Hi, it's Gene, retired in Mexico, and we ask one question on this channel, which is, do they write them and sing them like they used to? And a lot of people, young and old, they think the old music is better, but I'm not so sure. And today we're going to hit up the runner-up at the drive-in. Arcarsenal is the name of the song. Thank you for recommending this song. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into it. I've done a deep dive into the lyrics. Let's go. Sounds like a Interesting. Kind of martial. Very interesting. A little bit of Chili Peppers influence, just a touch. Those drum fills. We'll just let this run. Wow. Okay. So get off the fence and tell me what you really think. It's great. He's so emotional. Cedric, right? Is it? I just looked at it. I think it's Cedric. But man, what a singer. I loved it, you know. I mean, now the lyrics have some kind of grotesque imagery in them, right? And that's why I kind of went like that during that part. Have you ever tasted skin? And I'm like, ugh. So, yeah, I mean, there's part of this that's repulsive, but not musically, just lyrically. And you know, these guys are just. I can hear the Mars Volta, you know, I can hear the genesis of that band and this band in like these lyrics. And this is just a much harder version of it. And then they went kind of proggy, right, with Mars Volta. But this is wonderful stuff. You know, normally just a bunch of screaming like that, but I actually love it. It's just, he does it just right. It's perfect. And loved it. I love the suggestion. I'm sorry I forgot to look up the name of the one or two people that recommended I do this song, and I apologize for that. I really should look that up. I got to tell you though, going through the comments, if I've replied to a comment, if I've replied to you, it's much harder to find your comment because then you become in the list of comments that I've responded to. and that's a long list. So I apologize for that, but those drum fills, the bass, his screaming, emotional singing, screaming, and then some of the guitar notes in there were great, and they would go up in the register, and there was a lot of emotion. I really liked it. Fast tempo, yeah, perfect. So post-hardcore, yeah, this makes perfect sense because I grew up on punk and hardcore. Um, hardcore, hardcore. You know, one band I got to see in concert years ago was Husker Du. That was great. So, and then I was a big Meat Puppets fan and saw them many, many times. Though they weren't really hardcore by the time I saw. Well, they would do a little bit in the shows that I saw, but yeah, Black Flag and all that stuff that I grew up with. Now I listen to this and I hear the difference. I hear how it goes to the next generation or subgenre or whatever you want to call it. But great stuff. So thanks for recommending this. I loved it. I'm going to give this. An A. I really liked it. Like I say, the lyrics. I'm not doing a deep dive into the lyrics on here and talking about them because they're kind of surreal. Uh, they don't necessarily make specific sense, so I thought I would just drop that for this video if you don't mind. I've read the lyrics twice and then heard them here for the third time, and yeah, there's lots of pieces of the lyrics that make sense, but then the whole thing together is a little bit more stream of consciousness. So I think doing a deep dive into that would not be that fruitful. But the lyrics are fine, like I say, you know, even when, well, let me put it this way, when I'm repulsed, that's an emotion, right? I had this girlfriend once, I told her that I remember we watched Lady Gaga at the Super Bowl halftime show, and I said, let's rate it. So I gave it a 5 out of 10, and she gave it a, I don't know, 4 or 6 out of 10, I forget. And then I had this conversation with her. I told her, I said, actually 5 is the biggest insult, because that means I was like, meh, you know. If I give you a 1, that's as good as a 10 in a certain way. So when I get repulsed by the lyrics, that's something visceral, right? That's something that's getting a reaction out of me. So when I say the lyrics are repulsive, don't misunderstand me. That's a reaction that's coming out of me, and that's much better than just being like, oh well, you know, they were okay, right? I would rather have that emotion than a flat emotion. So I hope that made sense to you, and let's wrap up the video as we say here in beautiful Mexico. Buen dia.